What's happening, everybody? We welcome you back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. We are really blessed here to have the Lincoln Hornets joining us, the defending CIF champs. They also have won some state titles recently. They've also been just kind of in, like 5 of the last 7 CIF champs. I look over to Coach because he was a player in some of them. You're old enough to now be back as a coach and everything. Lincoln, thank you very much for being here. Let's go left to right, guys, and let's introduce ourselves. Name, grade, and position, please.
Michael Valenzuela, linebacker, 2024.
Isaiah Bartolome, DB, class of 2025.
Jerome Roberts, middle linebacker, class of 2024.
Keontae McClay, class of 2025, defensive back.
Damian Watkins, class of 2025, DB.
Isaac Turner, class of 2025, corner.
Coach Mino, coach.
And this is coaching year number 2 for you or number 1? This
number
is
one for
number
me.
1 for you. Okay, guys, thank you again for being here. Right now, you guys are the number 1 team in San Diego, unless you are a PPR person, and then for some reason Carlsbad is number 1, despite they lost to Lincoln last year, and Lincoln hasn't. I don't understand the math on that one, so I'm glad that you're here with us. I also think it's interesting, Coach put together a defensive group. Last couple of years, Lincoln's been known for a lot of offense, but yet the defense has kind of been the one winning the championships. So I see a lot of nodding heads. Let's talk about how this season is going for you guys. I'm assuming all of you are decently happy with it, but you're all going to say we want more. So I'll just ask you kind of 0 to 100. If you guys had to give your season or your team a grade so far, what are we talking about right now?
I definitely think there's a lot more to build on. So I would say a 75, which is pretty dangerous because if you see what we are doing now, it's dang, you would think we're at 90 or something, but we really see the room for improvement and we see what we could do better, which makes it so dangerous.
To piggyback off what he said, you know what I mean? You look at the film, you see we have 11 hats on the field. It looks like we got 12 there. They go down so easily when we have all the hats to the ball. And like LJ said, we about to have 75 overall rating right now. We have a lot more to improve on. We have just technique and, we have a lot of things to build on. But right now it's scary just how we're playing this early in the season.
Have you guys run 12 guys out there yet? Is
No.
that a play in the playbook?
No, we haven't. We're too disciplined for that. We're too disciplined for that.
I feel like we are 70-75% also because, we're starting to really come together as a team. But, we're still not all the way there. We got to work on chemistry a lot more. But on defensive-wise, we always try to make sure we have each other's back and just play to the ball 100%. All
right, so let's read off the stats because this is sometimes not fun for people. It's they lose in the numbers, but these are pretty these are pretty big, drastic numbers. 41-0 to open the season, 58-6 the next game, 49-12, 54-19, and then most recently, despite Cajon talking a ton on social media, they didn't even score on you guys. So, hey, that's kind of nice. Are we flipping from last year being kind of Roddy was the identity of this team, and they're you're an offense? Is this a defensive team this year?
I don't think there's ever been, one person to carry a team. Yeah, Rod had a big identity, but at the end of the day,
I wasn't saying that you guys don't count, but it was Rod was kind of the superstar, identifiable. He ran for 300 yards and 7 touchdowns. This year, you guys have a lot of offense, but it seems like maybe more the defense are the little bit of the identity of this team.
Go ahead, answer K1.
I wouldn't like to say we're really that identity, but we definitely bring a lot of energy to the table. But offense, we definitely got a lot of dogs on offense too.
Hey, look, Lincoln offense. This was not meant as a disrespect, but 2 shutouts though against this kind of quality of opponent feels like something special in terms of your squad.
It definitely is special for sure. You know what I mean? Last year we had a lot more talent. But, at the end of the day, it's all sheaf at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We had, like I said, we had a lot of talent last year, but I just had this conversation with someone in the car the other day. Despite all the talent last year, Sheaf made a lot of big improvements from last year. All our run fits this year, it's just crazy. We play so fast because of what Sheaf has us doing on the field, in the film room, all of that. What his game plan for the week, that's where it sets off at.
Oh, yeah. What he's saying is really true because last year, I would say, as being here as a DB, we worked, but this year we definitely worked. We worked way harder than we did last year, I feel like.
So what motivates you? I mean, this might be way too general, but like, what motivates you guys? Because sometimes you come in, you talk to a team, and they're like, "Oh yeah, last season ended on such a bad note. We lost to so and so in the semifinals, and like that's been our motivation all season." It seems like it could be kind of hard if all you've done is win for the last like 2.5 years to maintain that edge. But you guys seem that tomorrow starts week 0. Like you're just as hungry for every game as you've ever been. Where does that come from for you guys?
I think the motivation really comes from like the hype. You know, like a lot of people out here in San Diego are really overhyped, and you know, really gonna come from what we've been
So
working.
not the hype towards you guys, but you like taking down the teams that have hype.
like you know, we just recently played Cajon. You know, all the talking on the internet and whatnot. It was just like, you know, boosted us to even want to go out there and play harder.
Yeah, to agree with what Isaac said, we feed off of like a lot of doubters. The doubters, we feed off of them all the time. And without them, I ain't gonna lie, we wouldn't play like certain ways. And like we play with like some enforcement, like when we have doubters, like, you know.
So you
like
guys are like you guys are the Jordan meme, and I took that personally.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like, you
yeah.
just see that other football teams exist, and you're like, I take that personally. We should be the only football team.
I think the motivation is that we now have a new standard. So the standard has been set. So we have to meet that standard. That's the motivation. We take it day by day, week by week.
When you say a standard, it feels like you can very easily say that standard has something to do with X number of like yards we're going to allow, or how many sacks we're going to get, or how many points we're going to get. But it also feels like that standard, people don't appreciate that. I don't know if I'm allowed to call him Day-Day, but I like calling him Day-Day. It makes me feel like I'm friends with him. It feels like Day-Day has set for you guys a really high bar of like, you guys are reading to kids in classrooms. You guys are all getting high GPAs. You guys are maybe held to a higher standard than people even realize, not just on the football field, but off the football field.
I think Uncle Dede does a great job trying to set us up to be men. So that's the kind of standard we are off the field. On the field, the standard is be the dog and do your job consistently. Make sure you're doing your 111 so that the person next to you can eat. So that's really the standard, just to remain consistent, have high energy, and compete, for real.
Another thing on that, Uncle Dede, he really gets on you. Like, you could be one of the biggest dogs on the field, but as soon as you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom, none of that matters. He's going to let you know what you need to do.
Is there an angry Day-Day out there? Like, does that exist? Or is he more the passive, like, he just says something real low-key and you're like, oh, damn, that hurt?
Oh, no. Uncle Dede is like, it's like once he says something way too many times, you don't want to see him after that.
Because I can't even imagine that. He seems like the lowest key, friendliest coach, and that like there's just no bad side to him. But I can see where you're like, oh, that's heartbreaking, man. I'm sorry I let you down.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some of that.
I mean, Coach, he just really expects us to take care of our business on and off the field, because it's just like it correlates. If you're not in the classroom paying attention and doing what you're supposed to do, it's just like you're not going to be able to go on the field and showcase your talent.
Because you guys are like team GPA like 3-4 or something like that, yeah?
Yeah, no, we
Three?
definitely take care of our business inside the classroom, you know, off the field, on the field. But at the end of the day, like to piggyback off what they said, you know, Coach Day holds us to a standard and wants us to be men at the end of the day, you know, and that's all football is. You know, just it's bigger than football. You have a lifespan in football, and he's setting us up for after that.
And also, even further, like off the field, have any of you guys gone to read in the school? Or what was that experience?
Yeah, so we started back at the beginning of the year after the season. Uncle Dede seen that a lot of the kids in our community have struggled reading. So he got a group of us, and he took us down to Martin Luther King Jr. Library, Malcolm X Library, and he put us in the day-to-day reading foundation along with Reading Legacy. And we became a unit, and we began reading to kids every third Tuesday of the month. And it was pretty great being able to meet kids. You could see, like, as the months went on, you could see the kids brightening up more. It was like, it was.
And those
got
to be kids that kind of low-key worship you guys, right? Because
Yeah.
they come to see you on Friday nights.
Yeah, kids from the
and
community, for sure.
I think it just really helps the kids because they look at us as like really like people that they want to be like. So I feel like
Well, and that you guys are living the life that they're like. You guys are in the same part of San Diego,
For sure.
and
coming from the same area, so it's just like them seeing us doing that, they think it's cool to do. And that's what we want to show.
for the last, like, I want to say probably maybe 3-4 years, you guys have been like a dominant team. Next level, top in the state, like one of the best in the nation. For the previous, 3 or 4 years before that, I want to say Lincoln was still kind of finding its footing and kind of figuring out its identity. And I don't know if I'm wrong on any of this, but there was a couple years where you guys weren't always winning championships with this kind of dominance and stuff. What has this meant to the larger part of San Diego around you guys to have a place on Friday to come consistently watch great football? Like, it seems like those games on Fridays are like, it's 50% Lincoln kids to just people who are in that area that want to come see good football. And I don't think that really exists in a ton of other spots. You could say that maybe probably Oceanside back in the 90s was having that. Helix 5 or 6 years ago was maybe having that. Like, that's kind of a rare thing. So what is that like to be on the field but look up in the stands and be like, damn, man, there's like a lot of just people here.
Yeah, so, I mean, looking up in the stands, you find a lot of the we call them OGs. They've been there for a long time, a lot of alumni. So playing with them in the bleachers behind the scoreboard fence too, they'll get on you. If you're doing something wrong, they'll let you know, and they'll all let you know. So it's kind of...
And every one of them was the star of Lincoln whenever they played, no matter how much... Yeah, okay.
You ask them, they'll tell you they were the star.
Yeah, yeah, and just it's one of the guys who was there before they started winning. I graduated in 2018.
I would have said further back, like 17, 16 was when you guys were still... But yes, okay, I'm
with
was not trying to swipe, catch your graduating class with a stray there.
Nah, but just the biggest difference from them being really good to them taking that next step to being the standard for football in San Diego is just you see a lot of growth in the part that they're more of a team. You know what I mean? Just a big emphasis I noticed after my year was just getting them more together and just having leaders, which most of these guys are, and that's why the defense is what it is. That's why the team was what it is.
So team bonding can be football. Like, you can be like, all right, that was a big play by that guy. That's cool. But team bonding is also a lot of just being friends and kicking it and doing whatever. So who's in charge of that? Like, who's the team? Is there a team kind of vibes leader? Is someone...
I don't necessarily think we have a real team leader like that. It feels like we just kind of mesh really well together. We all come together. We're always together on off the field.
You guys are genuinely friends.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Like I could text one of them and I know they'll respond. I'll call one of them. I know they'll pick up. Like we're more than just teammates at the end of the day. Like, these are my brothers. You know what I mean? Like,
you can see the resemblance.
Yeah. No, but I'm from LA.
Joke. Thank you guys. Thank you for laughing. I appreciate it.
I'm from LA, so when I moved down to San Diego, it was a big thing for me to find that new brotherhood, and these dudes definitely took me in as one of their own, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. It's a huge blessing. Like, when I first came here, me and LJ hated each other, but now we're tighter than ever.
Catch it up.
Yeah, we're tighter than ever. I text him throughout the week just about film, or whenever I see him at school, we just talk. And it's like, I know I can rely on him on the field, but then especially off the field as well. Any of these dudes.
Definitely piggybacking off what Micah just said. I've been playing against these guys since we were babies, and just now playing against them, now playing with them is just it's a bigger factor, and it's just it adds to the chemistry. A lot of us eat lunch together, hang out after practice. It's just...
Where's the spot on campus that you guys eat lunch? Where do the cool kids hang out?
Coach Delatorre's PE office. 11:47 to 12:23.
That's your moment of zen every day.
I think the brotherhood mostly comes like from football, like outside of practice and stuff. Like I transferred in a little late. I didn't really know a lot of people, but when I came in, it was like they accepted me. We started working together and like communicating more outside the field, and then correlates on the field. Like, we're over here passing things off easy.
Because it seems like when you trust somebody and you know somebody and everything like that, you can be like, hey, the safety is behind me and he's got it. Not only because like I know he's athletic, but because I know him and I trust him and I like him and he's a smart dude and I know he's responsible.
Yeah, I play corner, Keontae plays slot, and it's like, me and him, I feel like there's more of like, me and him have the connection where it's like we don't really have to talk about every play.
You guys down to are they the weird little duo that like they're just like look at each other and they got their thing and you're like, you guys spend too much time together. Yeah. Okay.
So another good thing is like we really like, I feel like we're always there for each other. Like, that really plays a big role too. Like, if somebody's playing down, like everybody will know. Like on the defense, especially like if we have one player who's really not in it, everybody can tell. That's another.
But it's not going to tear the team apart because you're not going to start like bagging on it.
Yeah,
because you
for
guys
sure.
are like friends and you're like, we're going to lift you up and
yeah.
get your head right.
We always lift our brothers up, no matter what.
Because I see that a lot of times too on sidelines is when teams put together a mercenary army of transfers or whatever, and they're all like, I mean, you can laugh. This is studio mic segment where we turn the studio mics down for just us. When it ends like that, like you can see that a team like fundamentally the core is not built right when that's the end. So you guys are like, hey, positivity. Like we got to get like we're all friends here. We got to lift each other back up.
Yeah, we came a long way from 7-on-7. Like 7-on-7 season was when we first started gelling together, and we did a whole lot of arguing on the field, everything. But one thing I could tell you is like during the game, we're always gonna fight for each other, no matter what.
Yeah, especially, you know, piggybacking off what he said, you know, when we just argue, it really accomplishes nothing. It does nothing but set us up for failure. So, you know, it's better just to, you know, we'll get on each other, but it's never going to be like just arguing. We get on each other like, hey, man, like I know what you can do. You've done it before. I've seen it before. You know, let's lock in here. Let's get what, you know, you're good. Let's go. Let's do what we need to do.
All right, so what do we need to do the rest of the season? I'm sure that you guys have like state championships circled as the goals and not, but in terms of just the rest of the year, I'm sure you're going to say we're taking it 1 week at a time. We're focusing on Inglewood this year, but like, where do you guys have the bar set? What do some of you want to accomplish? We're talking to a lot of defensive guys. Or some of you trying to still get a couple more sacks this year? Do one of you want to pick 6? Like, what are some fun things that you still want to get done this year?
The main thing has to be is what Coach Bashir tells us. So we want to take everything. I know, like you just said, we're going to take one.
Normally, when you say that cliche, we turn your mic off and kick you out of the studio, but that's mostly for coaches, so we'll let it slide for you.
Yeah, but and doing our job consistently. So, like, making sure your job starts on Monday. When you take the whole week serious, like, it correlates to the game because now you've already prepared for it. So, really, the preparation is what we want to make sure stays, and then we want to make sure that we're doing our jobs consistently every time so that everybody can make a play. You feel me?
Yeah, these boys, they're really mature, and the coaching staff does a good job on making sure they micro-focus. Like, I know we take the week by week pretty seriously, but even I just tell them, like, I just want you to get 1% better every day. You know, results and progress isn't always linear. Sometimes it's delayed, and you don't really see it until it's about end of the season or
so that
playoff
moment
time.
where it actually finally clicks.
Yeah, and then that's when you really hit what you're trying to do the whole season. So
I feel like we're focused on, you know, repeating, but like, you know, we're ready just to get back on Monday. That's all it is. Like after Friday, I'm excited, ready to get back on Monday. You know, I'm ready for the film the next day to see, you know, whatever team we're playing. Like Inglewood, I wanted that film at midnight, if I'm being honest. So I love to watch film. These guys love to watch film. Sometimes we're even watching film before CIF. And that's
I don't know if he's gonna take kindly to that.
Man, he'll tell you this weekend.
Receipts to put it on the message.
Exactly.
I don't want to put poster board material out there, and so if you guys don't want to answer this, that's fine with me. But do you guys want Carlsbad again? Like, do you want the repeat? Do you care who you get? Is there? I mean, I'm not saying that in the sense that like you want Carlsbad because it's something personal, but just they seem like they're kind of on the warpath to be the only other legitimate like state contender type team. Do you guys think about that stuff? Do you watch scoreboards at this point in the year? Are you guys doing the math to see who else you might match up against? Or you're just like, hey, whoever we face in the playoffs, like we don't care.
Yeah, that's really what it is. We don't really care.
So there's no scoreboard watching on a Friday night being like, oh man, Cathedral beat Helix beat Cathedral, so that means this, so that means that. No,
we don't really do that. The only thing we do is just look for it next week. That's it. Just move forward from there.
I think definitely just, you know, whoever's going to stop us from getting to that CIF championship, you know, that's who we want. They take it by week basis, and just that's it at the end of the day.
We have to, you know, we talk about this a lot. We don't care who you are, where we play, when we play anybody. So whoever that may end up being in Snapdragon or the parking lot of whatever team, you know, wherever it may be, whenever it may be, it could be 12 in the morning, 8 in the morning. We don't care. We'll play whoever we need to play, and we'll dominate and win the game and do whatever it takes.
Well, CIF would appreciate if you could have that game at 8 a.m. It would speed up the scheduling for championship weekend. So we've got that on record, Chief. They're down to play an 8 a.m. championship game at Snapdragon. It'll be quiet, too. No fans will come to that at all whatsoever. All right, guys. I like wait, what grades? Do we have seniors in here? Yes. Okay, perfect. I always like ending on this question. I know it's a little bit of a loaded question, but what do you guys want to leave as a legacy for your senior class in the Lincoln football program?
I just want to leave the impact on my little brothers that I love them forever. I want the standard to remain the standard, and I want them to realize their potential, because once you realize your potential at a young age, you become more dominant. And I want them to realize that no matter how old I get, no matter how successful I become, I'll always have their back. They could come to me for anything. I'm going to always pass on the knowledge that I get to them. I'm going to make sure that they're always good for sure.
Legacy-wise, I've never been a big guy on that. I don't really – the only legacy I guess I would want to leave is that, like LJ said, I want to let them know that I love them, that I'm always there for them, that whatever they're going through, they could talk to me. And then, also that work ethic and standard. Like, I'm a pretty hard worker, and I want to, impact that on them. I want them to be doing what I'll be doing, whatever time that may be. And I just want them to know, like, that's what will take you forward, that work ethic. And, if that impacts on them or not, I leave it there so that they can, pick up on it whenever they can.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. Make sure you go check out Lincoln as they take on, look at the schedule for the rest of the week, or for the rest of the season. They're going to host Inglewood, and then they're at Madison. Well, hopefully that game gets finished this year. Then they'll play Cathedral, whose side this show is personally on in that rivalry. It's not Cathedral's. Then we'll play the Saints, then University City. So 4 really good games, and God help University City for that one. Until next time, we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.